Robbed by Rob. I don't think I could come up with a better thumbnail than that. Are we talking about Rob Jones or are we talking about Rob on here with his whole West Ham thing? Evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Coming up, we're going to be talking about this refereeing decision. We'll be talking about the game as well. What was good, what was bad, what was ugly about it, and a lot of bickering, no doubt, in between all of that. So, as always, you know what to do when you come in, and you are definitely lagging. Well, make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe.
You know I'm lagging.
You're freezing. Is he freezing for you?
No, not for me. I've not noticed it. Unless you're staring at him.
Just staring at him a bit. Freeze. Chat, if Ant freezes.
He's always staring at me.
Let me
know
know
what he's like.
Anyway, make sure you check out the sponsors. Okay, jerseys, £15 for your football shirts. Use code FFTV for 8% off and go one size up. All right, let's kick off. Ben, you were at the game physically there in the ground. I just want to start. What was the reaction to Rob Jones? We will get into the actual game, but I'm sorry, this whole corruption allegedly that we're seeing constantly against Forest, it's starting to get frustrating, man.
I mean, the reaction was probably the same as all you guys watching at home. It was booing, chants about Rob Jones. Jesus must have been fouled about 10 times, and I don't think he ever blew the whistle. That Dias one was a clear second yellow. He should have been off the pitch. He should have been booked before. I think he was maybe booked on like his 5th foul originally. So the refereeing was truly shocking, and people weren't happy. They were singing chants about the ref. Rob Jones, I mean, every time he refs us, there was the Bolly incident, there was the Morgan Gibbs-White incident. I'm sorry, but it's unacceptable. And I know we shouldn't blame the ref for the result, but it's got to have an impact. I mean, if Diaz goes off at the start of the second half, you never know what happens. Because in the first half, I thought we played quite well. We definitely kept them at bay in the first half, but yeah, the reffing was absolutely shocking. And then to see Pep on the highlights, like patting him on the shoulder, and Rob Jones laughing and joking with him, I don't know. It stinks of potential corruption. And I know Man City as well. They fly all the refs out, don't they, each year for like a special refereeing retreat. So I don't know. It just stinks. Like, I don't think Rob Jones should be able to manage a Forest match again, because it's very, very suspicious. And I think the more the crowd get on his back, the more he kind of just thinks 2 fingers to Forest and tries to help the other team, allegedly. But yeah, despite that, I thought the first half was pretty good. We definitely kept Man City in the pocket. They didn't really have any real chances. It was obviously such a Forest thing to do, to come out and concede within a few minutes into the second half, and then we're chasing the game. But that goal we scored was really good. It was a really good team goal. So I thought that was excellent, really. And if anything, we probably did deserve a draw out the match. So to lose is really disappointing, to be honest. One of the most disappointing losses I think we've had so far. But yeah, I thought in general we put in an okay performance. And obviously Man City, I think, have won 10 on the bounce. So we didn't look like we were getting ran over by them. But it was just utterly disappointing, really, and like you say, the ref ruined it. And I saw Ant before the match, and we were kind of in agreement that we either nick a win or a draw, or we lose about 5-0, and neither happened. So it was just massively disappointing. I mean, the crowd was really good all game. And then at the end, obviously, just kind of silence when we realised we were going to lose. But the Man City crowd are awful. The Man City crowd do not sing unless they're up. They are complete silence unless they're actually winning the game.
You should see it at their stadium, man. It's even worse.
But yeah, it was frustrating. But I do partly blame the ref. But at the end of the day, things like that are always going to happen in football. You've got to try and make your own look. And maybe on a different day we would have nicked a point.
And some people in the chat are asking about your pink eye, bro. All good?
Yeah.
It's about 90% back. I can't really see the colours yet though. I said to Ant before the match, I was like, I might accidentally cheer if Man City score because I can't see the colours of their shirts. But thankfully I cheered.
Red's the worst colour for you, isn't it?
Yeah, red's the worst colour for me, yeah. So when I look at red, it looks kind of grey.
The truth is coming out now.
Guys, say, by the way, I don't know if you were in the watch longer at the game yesterday. Big up for those coffees, bro. You're an absolute legend. I appreciate it. I don't know if you heard it yesterday. I want to talk about the incidents before we actually break down Forest's performance. Look, I know there's a lot of debate. Is it our fault or is it the ref's fault in there? I think the truth lies somewhere in between. But we got to break down the incidents. We got to talk about them.
Hold on, can't we have a general little? I mean, I know Crypto's had half an hour, but can't me and Ez have a general little?
I had 7 minutes actually. That's half of what Rob would.
Okay, if you want to, I'm going to jump out and jump in. This is just a bit jerky for me. So go on. Then.
Yeah, okay.
You guys have.
I was going to say, I have mixed feelings about the game. I'm quite pleased with the way we played. I thought we played well. I thought it was a good performance against what is a top team. I'm obviously disappointed that we lost the game. Regarding the referee, look, he's not the Rob with the worst takes, is he? Let's face it. I mean, I've had Rob today telling me that, oh shit, Leeds got a point. Leeds are away from us. It's now a battle between us and Wolves. Yeah. And I replied, Rob, with 2 points behind with 20 games to go, you're right. It's impossible to catch Leeds. They're gone. Anyway, he was awful. The referee was genuinely awful. Regarding the sending off incident, I can't comment on that because I didn't see it at the time and I've not seen it since. So I've got no comment on that.
No, really, that's some Wenger settings.
Did you leave at half time like Ez usually does?
No. I stayed for the entire game because you know what? I stayed for the entire game because I do anyway. But I actually believed that we could score at any time. Going forward, we were kind of okay. Man City defensively aren't great. They're not great. Look how many goals they do give up. So, I always felt that even at 2-1 down, we had a chance. No, my biggest... How can I put this? Because I know people are going to jump on this because that's what the internet does. The biggest letdown for me was the manager. Yeah, I've said it.
In what sense, Ant? Elaborate.
In the sense that at half time, I was saying... I mean, I'm a big fan of Callum Hudson-Odoi. However, it's not been great lately. And in this particular match, he did put in one excellent cross very early on.
Which we should have scored from.
That, yeah, apart from that, I thought he had a poor game. It was no threat. He will not take on his man. He does sometimes. When he does, he's great. But the majority of the time, he won't do it. And the amount of times, particularly in the second half, when he was kicking down towards the Trent end, it was so frustrating because we were going, go on, Ant. Go on, because I read that. Go on, Callum, take him. And he just stood on the ball, turned his back, passed it backwards, momentum lost. And we had Bakwar on the bench. And this kid needs to be given a chance because if Callum's not doing it, we need somebody that will. And one thing Bakwar will do is he will attack the defence. And it was so plain to see that that's what we needed to happen. And he didn't do it. So I was kind of disappointed in that. I think that had we had an effective winger on, we could have made more of the situations. But generally speaking, I thought it was okay. The other thing that I can't understand is, and I don't want to upset you, Ez, I don't mean this in a derogatory way towards Taiwo, but Taiwo's not scored a goal in 18 months. Taiwo doesn't look like scoring a goal. We've already got one player on the pitch in Igor Jesus that bullies the defenders. And he does a brilliant job at it. That guy works so hard. But as I said from day one, from day one, he ain't no striker, boy. He will not get you goals. He never will. So why bring Taiwo on up front with Igor? What sense does that make? Why not bring Callum Owendo on, who maybe could feed off Jesus? You know, have you thought about that, Mr. Dyche? Maybe all the balls that Jesus wins, he could slip it to the side for Callum Owendo, who can go through and score. Why do you think Taiwo is going to be the answer? I just don't get it. And they were very late. The subs were very late once again. Yeah. So for me personally, like I say, mixed feelings. I think we played really well. Disappointed that we couldn't hold out. And I think the manager needs to do something.
Yeah. What do you mean do something?
Like something like put a substitute on to change the game. Like change the formation. Have two. If you're gonna have two up front, go 4-4-2. Do something different. I've got. In fact, I've written down here Victor, Savona. I mean, I would have Williams on the right against Everton if Grealish is playing, but let's see. Savona,
we'll get to
Murillo, Williams.
Mate, you're jumping over bare topics here, man.
Yeah, we'll do our lineups.
Yeah. I'll step back a bit. You guys go on.
Let me do it in reverse chronological order, and just to respond to that Taiwo comment. And I don't know why I'm his defender all of a sudden, but I do like the guy.
You are, bro.
But when we did bring him on, we didn't throw a single long ball up. What is the point in having two strikers up there when we didn't launch a ball forward? We couldn't even connect our throw-ins at that stage. So I do believe the substitutions were way too late. We should have made them around the 70-minute mark. I agree I think I heard Wolfie saying that Hudson-Odoi was lagging, and I felt he was lagging as well. He could have come off sooner. I'm not sure Buck was ready for that kind of game. I think his confidence is pretty low, and going up against the Man City defence isn't really going to be great for his confidence. But the boy needs minutes, so I would have definitely given him more than what did he come in injury time.
One quick thing there. Their right back was flying forward, leaving loads of space on the left wing. I think Backward would have relished that. He looked okay.
Nunes is just in our half.
Potentially. But like I say, I mean, the fact of the matter is he's not had many minutes recently. And when we did put him on, it was in injury time, wasn't it? Didn't he come on
91st minute, man?
Yeah, that I don't agree with at all. If you're going to bring him on, give him some time, man. He needs minutes in the legs, that cliche. But he also needs Premiership minutes, man, Premier League minutes. He hasn't barely played in the league. And he hasn't got that confidence, I don't think. So the only way he's going to get it is by giving him
if Joe was flying, then that's fine.
Yeah, if it's hard to take him off, then you don't take him off. But it wasn't the case. And I agree with you guys saying that he was probably the first one I would have taken off and just give us a chance. But that's where he has to be much more proactive. And that's my biggest criticism.
Sorry, Ez, is that right? And Charlotte, Everton giving me some Grealish and Jai, KDH, Brownfoot, Calm. If you can't be Everton, I would sack him.
Grealish, I think Grealish is a maybe. Let's hope it's a no.
Angelo is an Everton fan, so he'll probably know more.
Oh, well, fair enough then, mate.
Yeah, we'll definitely...
Sorry, he could be fooling us. He could be lulling us.
Yeah, in terms of the starting lineup-wise, I think the only little surprise was probably Dominguez coming in for Douglas Luiz, but I thought that was a good decision. Because I think... If you saw the majority of the game, we were actually playing a 4-3-3 yesterday, as much as we have done under Dyche. And those middle three with MGW dropping in, I think worked really well. I think that was one of our best performances. This is what's annoying me. Yeah. Look at the performance we were talking about against Fulham, and I said they'll turn it on. They'll turn it on against Man City, and they did. That was a fantastic performance. We definitely deserve something out of that game, and I cannot fathom why the players can switch it on and off like that. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But after that initial 5 minutes where we were really deep, I mean, when Jesus was on our 35-yard line in the first 5 minutes, and I thought, okay, this is kind of like a precursor to how the game's going to go. But no, we took control of it. And that chance on 6th minute, I mean, Hudson-Odoi did everything right. He had players in the box and he made the early cross. And one of them should have finished it. And if I'm going to blame either of them, I would say Morgan Gibbs-White. He had
100%. That was Gibbs-White's ball. Yeah. That was Gibbs-White.
He just had to make contact. He didn't have to make contact, man.
He kind of held his leg back, didn't he? He didn't even
just stick the damn thing out, man.
If he'd gone with his head, he would have got it in easy.
He didn't need to go. It's too low for him to go with his head, but any contact,
any part of his body, just touch the ball.
He draws.
And that was superb cross. And then there was a spell of about 10, 15 minutes where Anderson was really pissing me off. And I've got to say it like that. Sorry, you should have bleeped me, yeah? But he was pissing me off because he was doing everything that Pep is looking for in a midfielder. He was excellent in that 15-minute spell. He was everywhere. He was closing them down, winning balls high up the field, progressing the ball. And I was like, come on, man, just go into your shell a little bit.
His passing was still a bit off, though.
I agree.
I think the problem that he has then when he's in that almost like that middle ground where he's not a 6 and he's not an 8, that's where he makes his mistakes. And I think Dominguez, to be honest, I barely noticed Dominguez yesterday. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but I barely noticed.
A lot of off the ball.
Yeah,
well, so he had limited touches. It was all positional.
I don't think he had much went through him, but he was there, and I think possibly, he's another one. He's been in and out of the team, so you can't really judge him on that. But going in at halftime, I was really happy with that performance. And apart from, again, couple of dodgy refereeing decisions. I mean, Nico Gonzalez was fouling for the first 15, 20 minutes. It was he's a dirty player, man. He was all over Callum Hudson-Odoi and Jesus. And then Diaz and Gvardiol got involved. But Diaz got booked on about the 35th minute or something like that for probably his third or fourth foul. And then that foul just after halftime. Now, there's a couple of key moments, and I do actually, because nobody else has mentioned it, I do want to give a shout out to John Victor. I thought that was his best performance yesterday. I thought it was really good. I thought he made some key saves because there's one that goes missing just after they scored. They had another chance with
that save against Foden with his left foot.
No, before that,
save near post.
The one near post from what's his name, who eventually scored the winner. He had a shot. He had Cherki. He had a shot with his right foot that he saved. And they could have gone 2-0 up then, and that probably would have been game over at that stage. But he kept that one out, and then we went and scored. And I think it's happened. Was it in the last game? It wasn't in the last game. It was a game before, I think, where we equalised quite quickly. And that was a real bonus. And I felt, we had that 15-20 minute spell where I think if he'd made changes then, we could have possibly nicked something from that game. And this is where, like I say, if I've got any criticism of Dyche from yesterday, it is his lack of proactivity in substitutions, because they've made the first change, and I think it was quite a straightforward swap, wasn't it? The Reinders came off, and what's his name came on? Savinho came on. So it's pretty straightforward change. But they've got players that do kind of ghost in, and the goal came from Reinders ghosting into our box, and that's what we weren't doing in the first half. And I think Pep made a good point when he talked about it, what changes he made it at half time, and it was to push him forward. But again, that susceptibility either side of half time or start of a game again, and like I said, we could have conceded 2 goals in that time if it hadn't been for John Victor. And I felt like I'm not blaming him for either goal conceded. I felt he did well when the ball was thrown into the box from crosses and free kicks, and he made 3 really, really good saves in that game. So he's coming along quite well. It's just a disappointment now. I felt, like I said, if we'd made the substitutions at the same time, no one knows what could have happened, but I think it could have given us a chance to actually win that game. We would have deserved it. Nobody could have said that we didn't play well enough yesterday to get something out of it, even a win. So 3 points. I felt we dropped quite a few points yesterday, but I'm happy with the performance. What I'm not happy with is how the players can just switch it on and off. I'm not happy about that.
But I'm not a massive fan of this. We played excellent stuff, because we played well and we played better than Fulham. But I think I sent you guys Murillo's Instagram message saying we played excellent. But if you played excellent, surely you'd win the game, not lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, the opposition does matter. You're not playing against.
But I mean, you could say every game you've played excellent and not win any game. So
but that's not the case. He hasn't said that every game.
If you play the same against Manchester City and against Tottenham Hotspur, you see the difference.
Yes, but then we put performances in like Fulham, and we
didn't play excellent against Fulham.
All away. We definitely played better, and I thought the first half was good.
Is it an away thing, Crypto? Is it a home and away thing?
I know. I think it's a mentality thing. Like Ed says, we seem to play good against the big teams, and on Tuesday against Everton, we'll probably get slapped because they're shit.
It's not so much you play good. The players seem to be up for it, and that's
what I mean. It's a mentality thing. It's almost like you could almost say conspiracy theory time that some of them are playing that way because they want to be sold and moved to a different team. Morgan Gibbs-White, although he was still pretty crap.
No, he failed for him then, didn't it?
Yeah. I think it's two things. I think one, the players get up for the big six because we beat Spurs 3-0. We beat Liverpool 3-0. We should have beat Man U in that 2-2 draw. And we played well yesterday against Man City. Now, the other two, Chelsea and Arsenal were under Ange, so that's a different thing. Add to that, Dyche is better tactically against teams where he can be more defensive and more on the spring. And this is still a massive worry for me. It's still a massive worry for me.
Those subs, I mean, we could see they were tiring. The sub should have come on earlier, and we should have known. Like, it was so stupid. Of course, Rayan Dias was going to score. It's Christmas. Obviously, Rayan Dias was going to score. But one thing I did want to say, because it's probably not obvious for people watching it on TV.
When Jesus have scored as well, then.
Well, he should have done. One thing that people might not notice on TV is that when Savona was getting the ball and he was booting it long a lot, Dyche was going absolutely ballistic at him, telling him to boot the ball long every single time. And there was one time where Savona turned around and tried to play a pass, and he went absolutely psychopathic at him. So if anyone's at home thinking, because I've seen it on Twitter, people saying, Savona just kicks the ball away. He's literally being told to do it by Dyche. Every time Savona got the ball, he was going, boot it up the pitch. And the one time he didn't, he went crazy at him.
It's Sean Dyche.
No, it's Dyche ball, but you don't see these things on TV. So some people are thinking, Savona's crap. He just keeps kicking the ball long and losing it because he's literally being told to by his manager.
Savona was all right yesterday.
I thought Savona was all right, but it's just for people who didn't see it, it's a bit of interesting insight as to why he kept booting the ball up the pitch.
And something else just to add to that, I was speaking to Lefty last night. Shout out to Paul. He said to me that Bakwa was meant to come on earlier, but he took forever. I don't know if you could see it from where you boys are sitting, but he took forever to get his training kit off, so they missed the window, and then they didn't bring him on. Apparently, Woney was like shouting at him to
that sounds like BS to me. I'm not saying it is.
No, Paul saw it. Paul saw it.
Well, I saw the subs getting ready, and I didn't notice that. I'm not saying, but there again, I'm not looking at the subs all the time, so that may well be.
If
it is the case, then it's a bit silly because for some reason in this day and age, substitutes seem to take ages to get ready.
Well, I'm sure Cali Miranda would have been up for coming on.
They have to put the shin pads on, they have to put the tape round, they have to take the tracksuit off.
But no, to be fair,
pads are this big, man. They're tiny, man. They do my head in.
But the shin pads do annoy me.
Credit card shin pads.
To be fair to him, Lefty does sit in the main stand, doesn't he? So
That's right in front of him. Yeah. And a couple of other things to add. I'll tell you why Taiwo came on, in my opinion. If you notice, Taiwo again was warmed up and kind of stripped down, ready to go before they scored their goal. That I think he was coming on for a straight swap with Igor, which would have infuriated me in itself. I thought Igor, he looked a little gassed, but he still had energy.
Yeah,
man, so I think he still put that cross in for the second goal.
Yeah, let's talk about him a little bit, to be honest, because that's.
Well, I want to talk about Taiwo first.
I just want to address
the reason Taiwo comes on is because he's bloody tall, and Sean Dyche likes a big tall striker.
But this is what I mean. He didn't play
was atrocious.
But Cali Miranda is in a bit of form.
That's what annoyed me because he pushed Milenkovic up as well.
He's not tall enough for Dyche.
No, but this is what annoyed me. Listen, guys, this is what annoyed me. He went with two strikers, and then he even pushed Milenkovic up, and we didn't play a single long ball.
Yeah.
We were fanning around at the back. Verona was giving the ball away from throw-ins, basic skills, and it just didn't work out. But if you throw the ball in, throw it into the mix and give him something to fight for, then we never know what would happen. But you've put him on. You've had two strikers. You've even pushed Milenkovic up, and you're giving them no service whatsoever.
Can I ask? Sorry to interrupt. Can I ask this question because this has been bugging me for weeks now, and I keep forgetting to bring it up. We've all seen Dyche talk about how he's ahead of the game and he was unfashionable because he and Pulis invented the long throw and all that. You've all seen those clips. Okay, can you show me any example since Dyche has been in where Forest have done a long throw and profited from it?
No.
Is there an example?
Well,
Even
our long throws aren't particularly good, are they?
They're not.
Neither are
so Williams can't throw it that
to
long.
the edge of the box is what they are. No. If you're going to do a long throw,
I think our best thrower is Zach Abbott, and he doesn't play.
To be bombed in.
Yeah, the Niakate one, isn't it?
Yeah,
You'd expect Savona to have
strong.
You'd expect Savona to have a big throw on him. He's a big lad, you know. He's got long arms. You'd expect him to have a big throw on him. I don't think he has. But what?
Why is he still going on about this throwing thing like he's invented the wheel, man? It winds me up so much.
Look how many free kicks we had in key areas yesterday.
They were dreadful. The corners barely beat the first man.
Yeah, and when they did, there was a couple of good ones which were right under the crossbar, which made the goalkeeper do something. But the rest of our set pieces, honestly, so forget throw-ins. What's he doing with our set pieces since he's come in? Because they've not improved.
Shocking.
We're shocking.
Yeah, they were doing too many short ones, trying to be cute with them, and it's like just get the ball in the box, man.
You know what, Wolfie? I think they do short ones because they have got no confidence of their own ability to put in a decent cross. It's an easy cop out, isn't it? To do a short one.
Yeah, and we saw the
what was really winding me up is passing the corner short just to put a crap cross in, and he kept getting closed down. Yeah, and the people around me were going mad.
And you know what? If I was a forward playing for Forest, I'd just stand at the front post because none of them go to get to anywhere else, do they? Just stand at the front post because that's where we all go. I don't know why nobody's there for us. I don't get it.
I think you'd be able to clear some of those at the front post.
But also, you know what? He had an 8-week gap. 8-day gap between games to put some training in to do some set pieces, and I don't see it, man. I don't see anything like that.
Because he only trains defensively, guys. He's not bothered about anything else.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I enjoyed the game yesterday from a footballing spectacle. I thought it was a balanced game. I didn't think it was park the bus versus gun-ho attack football. I thought it was quite a balanced game. I'm not opposed to that style of football. I quite enjoyed it. What I'm opposed to is the silly mistakes, because look, we need to talk about the controversies, but I am so sick on corners against us of two opposition players always having the freedom of the edge of the box. If you look at where Cherki was, there wasn't a single player around. It's not the first time. It's been all the time under Dyche, all the time under Ange, and it started to leak into Nuno towards the end. Why are we giving the edge of the box so much freedom? They had two men there on the edge of the box. That in itself, forget the issues, what happened with Gibbs-White and what have you. Why is that being allowed? Because they're always going to pick the second ball up. That's like just basic defending.
Yeah. I mean, Dyche's orders will be, if you can't win the first ball, make sure you win the second ball. But we're not winning that second ball. And like you said, you leave somebody like Cherki on the edge of your box with acres of space. And it was such a simple move. Knocked down to him and he first time strike. He's a quality player, man. And he's just going to get better and better. And you're leaving a player like him. We do it to Saka as well when we play against Arsenal. All these top players.
He scored from it,
Yeah, players who know how to shoot from distance. Yeah, we give them the ball. Do your best. Usually their best is good enough.
You just made an Arsenal reference before, and I think that's the first time in about 5 years that's ever happened.
Let's get on to the controversies, though. Big up to Gaz with the £2. He goes, the referee ruined the game for Forest. Perfect super chat. Perfect segue into it. Perfect time to remind everyone, hit the likes. Come up to 400 in here. We're on 92 likes. That's you guys are moving like Rob Jones, or Rob, who's not here tonight. Rob is back next week, for those of you asking. He has crimes to answer for when it comes to West Ham and the 13-point prediction. So don't worry. All of that will not
be written down. It's written down.
I told you to write it down last week.
Okay, let's start with the first one, which was just before Man City scored their goal. Diaz, and I think you said you didn't see it, so I'll come to
I didn't. No,
It
I mean
was-
it was the far end of the ground for me for a start, and it's always a bit, when there's lots of players about, it's always difficult to know exactly what's happening.
All right, so shut up and let me ask the people that saw it.
People wanted to know the reason I didn't see it. I don't want to be accused of being at the toilet or going home early.
So anyway, for those of you who don't know, what's the name? Jesus went across Diaz. He had his right shoulder tugged with a bit of shirt, went down, standard yellow. And let me add to this. Today in the Spurs game, Danso pulled down the Crystal Palace attacker in an identical situation. It was more central.
Yeah.
He went down and he got booked. The inconsistency right now is disgusting. Now, I think for me, the ref bottled it because it's Man City. But this firstly, do you guys think it was a yellow, second yellow?
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Why didn't he give it then? Why didn't
Because
he give it?
I think Rob Jones has just got a hatred for Nottingham Forest.
Crypto, let's keep it sensible, right? Let's be realistic. Rob Jones is awful for everybody.
And ever since Rob Jones,
this is his fourth thing
these
now.
referees are simply incompetent.
and Rob Jones sent Willy Bolly off, and he didn't even touch him.
He did.
And then Morgan Gibbs-White, did he send Morgan Gibbs-White off
against Brighton?
And then yesterday,
and Nuno.
he doesn't give a yellow card for that. And
You're convincing me, Ben. You're convincing me.
But I know you're gonna say, they don't have any allegiances and stuff. So why at the end of the game is he chatting and laughing?
No,
with
I think they have allegiance. I don't think they have allegiances, but I think that they favour the Cartel Six. But
that's basically corruption, then, isn't it? Because we don't deserve to be.
It may not even be a conscious bias, but it's there.
Put it this way: if Milenkovic had got a yellow card in the first half and he'd done that to Haaland, he would have been 100%. Off that pitch. It wouldn't 100%. Have even been a second yellow.
Can we just address this? Second yellow card has a higher threshold.
Yeah, but
can you show me where in the rule books it says that?
Even if it was a higher threshold, even if it was a higher threshold, he blatantly tripped him up while he was through. It had to be a second yellow. Like I say, if that was the other way around, if Milenkovic had done that to Haaland, that ref would have deported Milenkovic back to Serbia. It's absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit that was not a second yellow card. It's disgusting. It's pure corruption. It's pure corruption. Everyone in the ground could see it. I listened to the radio afterwards. Everyone said it's not even a question of is it a yellow or not. It is definitely a yellow. Just because he's Dias and he plays for Man City and Pep's giving him the banter after the game and he's smiling and having a laugh with Pep, I think it's sickening. I think it's disgusting because you know what? If we were in a position where, let's say, we were going to get relegated and a decision like that meant we lost the game, well, then that's not just one game, is it? You're talking serious. The fans, the money, the players, everything changes just because Rob Jones can't referee a match properly. I think it's disgusting.
He's bold
as well. There's this modern day thing that never used to happen where you'll see it when you hear the ref on ref cam. It's like, oh, Ruben, Ruben, we better have a word and Erling and that. What's this bloody first name business? You shouldn't be on first name terms with players.
They want to be mates.
They want to be famous. Yeah. They want to be mates with the stars, don't they?
Yeah. Give me a follow on Insta, please, mate. Give me a follow.
Yeah. He's definitely bottled the decision because he was the last man. If you've given the free kick, you've got to give a booking. You have to. One has to follow the other in that situation because of where he was. Because if he doesn't bring him down, Jesus is through in on goal.
Exactly.
It might be a covering defender, which obviously precludes it from being a red card. But other than that, it has to be a yellow card. So he's bottled the decision. That's affected the game. I don't know where Wolfie's gone. That's affected the game because I think was it 2 seasons ago when Rodri got sent off against us.
Yeah,
and I think it was MG Dub that got him sent off.
Yeah,
I was really surprised by that one because I think that was a second yellow as well. And I thought I didn't expect him to give that. And this was.
But he'd have him round the neck, as.
Well, exactly, he did, and they had to review that though, didn't they? They were looking for every opportunity not to give it. But yesterday, I'm sorry, that's a second yellow card.
He's got it. He had to go off.
It's a yellow card, full stop. And the higher threshold BS. I'm not going with that.
So what constitutes the higher threshold? This is what I don't understand. Does he have to break his leg?
It's just it's the excuse that referees use for making the wrong decision and not sending somebody off. That is
it's
what
like
they
saying,
say.
so I was meant to just put the tip in, but put the whole thing. Like,
Yeah. They say, well, it has to be a bit more serious for a second yellow, which is rubbish.
Then that would make it a red.
It's a second yellow.
Yeah, if it's any more serious, it's a red. Yeah,
but it was serious because he was through on goal, and Lewis in the first half.
I don't think he was through on goal because it was wide.
Edge of the area, edge of a box.
Well, he was through to a position where we could have made something out of it.
Of course,
it just had to be a yellow. There's just no other way around it. There's no point making excuses for.
And then 2 minutes later, they go down the other end and score. This is what bugs me about it. So something that annoys me is when we get a hardship against us, it seems to double down. It seems to double down every time.
Every time. You kind of expect it, don't you?
Is that a player mentality?
Even corner kicks incorrectly given.
Yeah, exactly.
You expect it. And I do think it is player mentality as well. But also the fans feel the same thing. Like we've just said, when that happens, I'm straight away thinking we're going to concede a goal from this. So is that seeping through into the players' mentality as well? It surely must do. Surely, if they're seeing the conceding goals at regular times, either side of half time at the beginning of the game, they must see that. And obviously, in the last 5-10 minutes as well, we've conceded more goals in the final 10 minutes of the game other than I think Wolves have conceded more than us. So it's obviously something that's happening again and again and again, and that's got to be affecting their mentality. It must be going into their heads. Oh my God, we're 1-1. We're going into the last 10 minutes of a game. They start getting nervous. When did they score their second goal? Was it in the last? Was it like
fourth?
Yeah, again. So again, last 10 minutes we could.
So you did right, Ed, because I said the same thing. And last season, it was us that was scoring all the late goals, and that got into our mentality that no matter what, we could score a late goal. So you're right.
I mean, it's a slight tangent, but if you remember this time last year, we were on the run
6 in a row.
Yeah, we were on the points that Villa run. And just another side note, I was really hoping for like a kind of Uno reverse from last season. Can you remember Man City were going through the worst period of losses probably in 20, 30 years, and we were the one team that they beat in that period. I was hoping it was going to go the other way yesterday, that we would be the one team that beats them.
This is Forest, mate.
We're on a run of like 10 wins in a row, aren't they? Which is what they do, which is what they can do. We are talking about one of the best teams in the league, regardless of how many charges they've got against them.
I tell you what, on the positive side, Mirilo Milenkovic, absolutely. I mean, I love, as you know, I love Erling Haaland. I think he's magnificent. So I was watching him yesterday.
I didn't see him.
I did not. He hardly got a touch. I mean, I know he doesn't normally get many touches anyway, and when he does, he scores. That's what I love about him. But he was so well controlled yesterday.
That block from Milenkovic in the first half.
Beautiful.
It was so well timed. It was so well timed.
But you also notice him when he's playing like that, because the only time he was picking up the ball was when he was coming deep to get it, because he was frustrated that he was not touching the ball. I bet he had less than 10 touches in the whole game.
Yeah. But this was my issue, boys. My issue with some of the performances yesterday. For example, Milenkovic and Murillo, I thought defensively were outstanding. But starting the distribution, I thought was poor. Same with Anderson. I thought he did his role well, but the passing was a bit poor. There was really solid parts of the performance, and then the inverse part of the performance.
This is where you miss. This is where you miss a Douglas Luiz or a Sangare. Their quality of passing in that 8 position is what we really sorely missed yesterday, because Dominguez, for all he does. When he was playing in that 10 position a few games ago, he looked really decent. But when he's a little bit deeper, his role really is to just try and break things up. He's not very forward thinking. His passes aren't very aggressive.
I think the problem is that I absolutely love Dominguez and I absolutely love Anderson. I wouldn't class either of them. As particularly creative. So therefore, when you've got 2 players like Dominguez and Anderson in that midfield, you need your 10 to be a creative spark. And I'm afraid he's not. He ain't playing well enough at the moment. We know we've seen him do it on occasion, And when he does, it's great. It works. But the way he's playing right now, he's not creating anything. Well, he's not creating very much. And I think that's the problem. That's why at some point you needed, like say, maybe 70 minutes, 65 minutes, 60 minutes, bring Louise on. Grab your balls and say, we can do this. Let's put a creative player on.
Because that would have been a free...
Louise can tackle as well, by the way.
Yeah,
you know,
and that
so
would have been a free...
we
were talking about, him hitting his mark of 15 games. That would have been a free game for him. If you bring him on the 70th minute, he's not getting 45 minutes, is he? It would have been a free game, man. Play him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the second controversy. Now, I didn't watch Match of the Day, but shout out to the guys on the chat. They were messaging me and someone tagged me in for the clip on Match of the Day. And of the people that analysed it, they got Wayne Rooney to do it. Ex-Sheepshagger manager, ex-Man U manager, and people were claiming that he was coming to this with an unbiased angle. Fuck him. I hate that guy. I hate that guy so much. He literally ticks every hate box that I could ever want. He ticks. But anyway, so
he doesn't because I like Shrek, so he reminds me of Shrek. So that's one tick he gets.
I couldn't even give him that.
I didn't watch Match of the Day either, so I don't know what he said.
I don't watch Match of the Day.
So what he said, he blames Gibbs-White because he says that Gibbs-White held on to who was it? O'Reilly.
Nico O'Reilly.
Yeah, held on to his arm, and then Gibbs-White hooked his left leg behind him, and basically Gibbs-White is the one who fouled him. I don't know how he concocted that story at all, because how's Gibbs-White going to hold onto O'Reilly's arm if O'Reilly's arm isn't around his waist in the first place? Like, I'd love for him.
There was an altercation at the far post, which didn't obviously interfere with the goal, but Murillo had his shirt ripped off him. He actually went to a referee.
Yeah.
He's ripped my shirt.
It was missing. Yeah.
I think that was just Laurie ran on the pitch and took it off him.
But there was a couple of incidents in there. But you know what? We should have defended it better. Again, 3 man on the edge of a box, man. There's no excuse.
That's the problem. Where was the guy running full pelt at him to close him down? I mean, I was right behind that goal.
I think it was Anderson didn't move. It may not have been Anderson. Apologies.
No, I think it was Hutchinson.
Yeah, but it was really a foul on MGW. It was clear. I don't know how VAR didn't pick it up.
No, I think that's a harsh one. You'd hate it if it was given against you. I'm not too bothered about that, man.
Yeah, but I honestly sat there and thought, when I saw the foul, I was like, yeah, that's getting over it. I wasn't like that bent out of shape from the goal. I thought they're going to cancel that. It's a foul.
I don't think they would.
I find it quite amusing that with Mr. Wolfmeister having an agenda against Sells for his boy, John Victor, I can guarantee you, and I'm not blaming Victor one bit for that goal. It came from so many bodies, right? But he did get there. And if that had been Sells, I can guarantee Mr. Agenda up there would be...
Hold on.
He's taller than
he should have saved it. I said he should. My rule on goalkeepers... My rule on goalkeepers, if they get their hand to it, they should save it.
I agree.
That's my rule.
If Sells was in goal yesterday, we would have drew.
No, I'm sorry. I thought John Victor was excellent yesterday.
Yeah, but some of his kicking is not that good. Some of his saves were good, but I don't like.
Sells' kicking is not good. Sells just kicks it long.
Yeah, John Victor kicks yesterday. One went out of bounds. One went to one of their.
Sells never does that.
I think 2 of them went out of bounds. Actually,
it wasn't. What
are we playing here? American football out of bounds, man.
That's football vision.
Wait, are you saying you don't think Sells had a good game, Ben?
Well, Sells wasn't playing, so Sells didn't have.
Sorry, John Victor.
But, look, John Victor, for me, I've got an agenda against him. I'd bring back Matt Turner.
Right, let's move on.
No, I'm not moving on. But I'll come to you, and I'm not taking that Matt Turner comment seriously. You were against John Sells. Fucking hell. John Victor.
No, Matt Victor.
Matt's Victor, yeah.
Matt Victor. Matt's John's.
John Turner.
And you were against him.
Yeah.
Completely. You wanted him gone.
Yes.
Has he won you over?
Yes.
Oh, come on. What, one game? In one game?
flip-flop, but when
No,
I see
it's okay.
evidence that changes the circumstances, I
In
will
one
change
game.
my mind. And I think that's
We need the
valid.
flip-flop.
We have a flip-flop, flip-flop. Everyone changes their mind. Like they didn't say that last time. We have a flip-flop, flip-flop. Trying to erase the past. Well, buddy, you're having a laugh.
Do you know what the most annoying thing about
I don't try to hide what I've said previously.
But you
I
want to
come
talk
out
about
with
it.
it. Oh, yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what?
but
And I think at the moment, I think that John Victor played okay. He wasn't spectacular, didn't need to be because they weren't great. He wasn't fighting off shots all the time. But I think he did very well. And
When did
I'll
I
be
say
honest
that,
with you.
Jet Setter?
I'll be honest
You
with
confuse
you.
me with crypto. That's an insult, man. Sorry.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. I would keep John Victor in goal for the next game. I don't see any reason why.
Oh, come on, get off it.
Okay, now hold on. I want to get under the bonnet of this one. So, Ant, you were, what was I going to say? You were anti-John Victor. Now, you're not. Fair enough. You've seen the new evidence provided.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you now
he was
gonna...
awful. He was awful in his first game. He deserved to be slammed.
Okay, I know, but you went to the stage to get rid.
Yeah, I did because I'd seen what happened to the last.
And now you want him to start ahead of Stoke?
Hold on. Here's my question to you, Ant. Going forward, does that mean you're going to take more time judging players?
No.
Well, no, I still judge players on the games that they played.
So you're not learning them from your new evidence, are you?
Hang on, I was the one in the last GOR that said I would still give time to McAtee, I would give time to Callum Owendo, I'd give time to Bakwa because they've all come in at a very difficult time with 3 different managers. So I'm the one, if you recall from last week, that said, yes, I will give these players time. Do you know there are 11 clubs after McAtee, including Chelsea?
Let him have
Now-
him.
Well, sell him then.
Are you sure? Or are
Yeah,
you sure he won't go to another club and be back to the player we know he can be?
But your track record ain't great, Ant, is it?
If you
My
can't be
track
bothered to
record's
play for us,
what are you on
Ant,
about? I made
Huh?
one mistake.
No, you hate
Igor
Igor
just
Jesus.
said it in the chat. Igor Jesus, remember that one?
Igor Jesus.
No, I'm right with Igor Jesus.
You stayed in for the first month.
I'm right.
Well,
I
he's not
said
benign, Ant.
he's brilliant at holding the ball up. He's brilliant at troubling the defenders. He's brilliant at creating the attacking spaces. But he ain't the goal scorer. That's all I ever said about him.
Well, that's rubbish anyway, because he scored
It's
in the
not,
Europa
is it?
League times.
How many Premier League
5
goals has
goals.
he got?
I don't care about league goals. I care about Europa.
Oh yeah,
against-
okay. Let's move on. It's been a
Yeah, let's move on because let's combine a couple of things then. So we've just had some news on Chris Wood. He's had an operation, so he's going to be out for a little while. Now let's talk about Jesus because I've got to say I've been really impressed with the way he's fitting into the Premier League because it's the hardest league in the world. It's the best league in the world because it's the hardest league in the world. You don't just come in. You don't just come in and become a superstar overnight. Yeah, you got to earn your stripes in this league. And I think his progression has been kind of forced on him. Obviously, we discussed this in the last show. I think ideally you would have had a fully fit Chris Wood, and he would have been the backup. You know, you would have eased him into it, but he's had to be thrown in at the deep end because there's other strikers that Juan up to it. But I have been really impressed with how he started leading the line. Now, give him his dues because I think there's been the games where he's really looked good. I haven't been against. He's up against 2 defenders, and yesterday they're no mugs. He was up against Diaz and what's his name, Gvardiol for the majority.
Made him look like mugs, mate.
He did, and that shows his quality. And even Pep gave him praise, you know, and that says a lot as well. So I think Jesus is just getting better and better. His confidence is growing. He does need a couple more goals to boost him, but I think he's playing as well as I would have hoped from him in his first season in the Premier League. And I think he's kind of like progressed, like I said, quicker than I would have expected him to. The fact that he's been forced into this situation has kind of like moved his education a lot quicker than he would have expected, but I can't fault him. I really can't fault him. Yes, he needs more goals, but the whole team needs more goals. You know, where are the goals coming from our midfielders and our defenders and our wingers? You know,
do you not think, as good as Jesus is, and as much as Ant hates him, do you not think that Jesus would be better in the 10 instead of MGW. Because I said this last score. Jesus, if you get the ball up to Jesus to hold the ball, and you've got someone like Cali Muendo, not Taiwo, but Cali Muendo up front, I think that would be a decent pairing. Like, you've got a player who he can feed in, who's pretty good.
You mentioned that earlier on, but anyway.
I said it last week as well.
a few times.
I put it in my team that I sent Monk earlier because I'm fed up of Morgan Gibbs-White, and I think Jesus is absolutely fantastic, but I'd like to see him in the 10 with a fast striker in front of him. Cali Muendo was just getting in
Cali
a bit.
Muendo's going, man.
Yeah, but why is we can't just have a backup of Taiwo Awoniyi.
Yeah, I agree that. How is Taiwo
Cali
still
Muendo was starting to come into a bit of form. He'd scored a few goals. He's got the pace. He's more kind of skillful with the ball at his feet than Taiwo is.
I think Ant is right in what he says. Is Dyche doesn't like that profile.
Yeah, but the thing that annoys me about Forest, and it's not Dyche, it's every single manager ever, is the first name on the team sheet is always Morgan Gibbs-White. And it never, ever change. We never, ever get to see anybody else there. Okay, sometimes McAtee comes on and plays in the 10, but McAtee is probably the worst player I've seen at Forest since Salenzi. So I just want to...
You're not even old enough for Salenzi. What are you talking about?
Can I just respond to this?
We don't even know his first name, man.
You know what? People's memories are so shite. And Jet has just said this. Wasn't it MGW's movement? His that started that goal yesterday.
Yes.
I know,
we just forget it. We just forget it, don't we? Like there's no influence in the game whatsoever.
Nobody's denying that MGW can have moments. That ain't enough for a midfielder.
He's not consistent enough.
Who's better than him at the moment? Who's better than him at the moment? You keep coming up with these stupid names.
Jesus. What I'm saying is Jesus in the 10.
I'd rather have Jesus in the 10. Absolutely, I would.
Yeah.
And then another unproven striker ahead of him, yeah?
No.
Yo, don't forget, at the start of the season, you were saying Callum Muendo will be our main number 9 in a couple of
Exactly. I thought you left Taiwo anyway. You can put Taiwo up front.
I said if Callum Muendo gets to start and he gets a run of games, he'll be hard to shift. That's what I said. That's the actual.
Okay, so would you not start him so he gets those couple of games to be hard to shift?
No, not ahead of Jesus at the moment, no.
My point is,
Jesus cannot score.
No, Jesus can do a lot. Jesus can do a lot more, and the players around him need to do a lot more as well.
My point is, when's the last
with another striker, not instead of.
When's the last time in the league?
Two good crosses yesterday.
When's the last time in the league that Morgan Gibbs-White didn't start in the 10?
Yesterday.
Yeah, he wasn't.
The middle of the pitch. My point is, when has anybody ever started ahead of MGW in the league?
Listen, speak to Mr. Marinakis about this.
Not listen.
No. Speak to Marinakis about this. He's paying him 150 grand a week not to sit on the bench.
You should have sold it.
It doesn't matter what your agenda is. Your agenda doesn't matter.
Let me settle this discussion about MGW.
Go on.
Right, in all seriousness,
Go on,
I'll start this by saying I never believe a word that managers say. That's why I say to you guys, I don't care what he said, whoever it is, whichever manager. After the match, I heard the Pep interview. First name he mentioned as a great player and how well he played, MGW. Are you having a laugh?
Oh my God. That's what they always...
The first player he mentioned, this is Forest have got great players, MGW, what a player he is, dictates the game.
It's the same with the commentators.
So if Pep says it, I agree.
No, that's what I'm saying. Do not believe anything any manager says. They are liars.
I trust Pep over.
MGW's got this like halo over his head, and everyone just says, "Oh, MGW is Forest's best player." Rival fans who don't watch Forest, ask them who's their best player. Oh, it's MGW.
Yeah, but he didn't have a bad game yesterday.
I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm saying we never get to see anything different. We never ever get to see anything. We don't know what someone else is like in the 10 because we never ever get to see it.
What are you talking about?
Nobody else
your memories are shit, man.
I'd rather put Ez in the 10 than McAtee. I'd rather put Ez in the 10 than McAtee.
So if you'd rather put Ez in the 10 than McAtee, by default, you'd rather put MGW in the 10.
What? Nobody else plays the 10.
I don't want a 10. I put 4-4-3 on my formations.
Exactly. But we have to.
What I'm saying is, it always has to be MGW. The team is built around MGW.
Correct.
Okay. Let's just dial this back without the bickering. Okay, let's just dial it back. I hear the argument for Jesus in the 10. The big issue, boys, is that I thought that about him as well. Hence, when I interviewed him, one of the first questions was, what other positions can you play? He categorically said he's a 9. He doesn't play any other position.
I don't care what he says. Put him in the 10.
What's that got to do with anything?
Anderson said he's categorically
Ben, quick, shut up a sec. What's that got to do with anything? What a player says. Players are thick as shit. They know nothing. Why am I taking any
man, we're going to invite him back on.
Scarpa?
Not Jesus, man. Jesus is the one.
Can you do Rubik's Cube, man?
Can you do a skateboard?
No,
flip?
I'm not. No, sorry. Don't misunderstand what I said. Sorry. I'm not saying they are low IQ, although quite a few are. I'm saying regarding playing football. If you're a footballer and you've got a preference for position, that's your preference. It doesn't mean that you're best at it or that's your best position. It's like me. When I used to play for school, I was a centre forward and I loved it. That's what I wanted to be.
No way
if they'd have told me to play in midfield, I'd have told them to bugger off. But I might have been better in midfield. Better.
I don't know, man. I'd see you more as like a centre back.
In my later years, I did drift backwards.
I'd see you as
I'm not exaggerating. I was better centre half than I was.
You did a Bertels, did you?
Yeah, I was a better centre half because I never got beat. Oh, out of broken leg, honestly.
No, you used to beat yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if his mentality is that he's not a 10, I don't know where I am on this because I do see the traits of a 10 within him. But I also see, you know how what's his face?
4-4-2, Wolfie. I'd rather play 4-4-2.
I don't like 4-4-2. I don't like 2.
It's not my preference, but you have to play the system with the players. This is where a lot of managers go wrong. Right? Look at Ruben Amorim, for example. You have to play the system of the players that you've got. And if 4-4-2 suits our players better, then you play it. You play what suits the players.
My point is, though, that we'd never even get to see it. It might not work, but we don't know because we never get to see it.
But this goes back to the point you made earlier, Wolfie, about him talking about old school tactics and this and the other. I expected at some point we would have seen 4-4-2 more proactively from him, but he's something he doesn't want to touch. But I think we've got the strikers to do that, and I do agree. I said that weeks ago. I'd love to see Jesus with somebody next to him who can actually finish, not MG Dub. But at the moment, that's how he's playing it. So if he's not going to play 2 strikers, then we're stuck with that formation for now. But let's go into this Everton game.
That's a fair point from Kev. Well remembered, Kev. That should have been your argument back, Anna.
It would have been a far better argument.
You know what? Sorry, you should say something about Robbo as well, because I never got to see him play, but I know without a doubt he is one of the. It's between him and Collymore for the greatest Forest players in terms of what we got on the pitch.
So different, Ed. That's the thing.
Yeah, but such different players. But I look at the way he used to dribble, man, and it used to fascinate me because he wasn't fast. But his close control was next to no one. You know, nobody else could get the ball off him. He was a big lad. He used to shield the ball really well. But
no, he was only little. Robbo was only little, Ed.
No, I mean, he got a bit stockier. He got a bit stockier. Yeah. Stocky, I meant. I was being kind, bro. He was stocky, but his close control was second to none. You know what? I was trying to, because I never got to see him play. I was trying to, like, throughout my life, I've tried to compare him to midfielders like him, but I don't think there was anyone like him.
No.
And you tell me about, is there anyone you can compare him to?
No, honestly, I can't. Honestly.
Well, can we have a word on him, man, from you? Because obviously on this panel, you're the only one who would have seen him play.
The thing that used to fascinate me about Robbo is a couple of things. Number one, because he had no pace, he used to literally just like walk. Players used to come to him, and the next thing you know, the defender was on the ground and Robbo was away. And you think, how did that happen? Because he'd just move it with his feet so quickly and away. It wasn't fast. It didn't need to be fast. And the other thing was his crossing was just like exemplary. You know what I mean? If Robbo got to the byline, you knew a proper cross was coming in. Very rarely did he fluff it.
Was he both footed then?
I only remember him playing with his left. I don't remember him.
No, but he scored. I mean, the winning goal.
I do think he scored the second European Cup winning goal with his right foot. And that was beautifully placed, I have to say. He actually did a Callum Hudson-Odoi. He came inside, played a 1-2, and just right in the corner, right as far in the corner as you could get. So we didn't see a lot of his right foot, but maybe we didn't need to because he was so good with his left, obviously. It was just Cloughie said that give him a yard of space and he's an artist. And that's all he needed, a yard of pitch, and that's all he needed. Yeah, 2-footed. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the old memory, but it was mainly left. And it was that fact. That's the thing I always think of, the way that he just strode up slowly to the defender, or the defender came to him. Something had happened, like he passed it between his own feet, and we got and you say, has he done that? And then you get to the byline and a pin perfect cross.
Did he have acceleration then? I know like he's not meant to be fast, but when he's sucking the defender in, could he accelerate away from him?
Yeah, I mean, when I say he was slow, I'm comparing him with the guys today, like Langer and people like that. He wasn't that. But there weren't so many. It feels like the players weren't as fast then. Maybe that's just memory, but it feels like the players weren't as fit and fast then as they are now. I don't know how he'd get on against modern day defenders. It'd certainly still be able to get past them, but the recovery of the modern day defenders is better than it was in the old days. In the old days, if a defender was beat, he normally stayed beaten. You know what I mean? Whereas now you beat a defender and he's back at you straight away because they're fitter.
Yeah, but also you got to say, how would he fare on a carpet pitch rather than?
That's the other thing. The pitches he played on, we've all seen it. The pitches were shocking. Just muddy. And also, Robbo himself would be fitter because he'd go with. I mean, his regime was a couple of pints in the morning, 40 fags at lunchtime. He was a drinker and a smoker. He did obviously cut down on that to a degree, but smoking, I don't think he ever packed that in. I think he was always a smoker.
Even a lot of them were like that.
Yeah, Duncan McKenzie was famous for 40 a day, and he was a magnificent athlete. He's the one who used to jump over Mini Coopers.
Is that why you've got a Mini Cooper?
Like for us younger generation, who would you liken him to? I know it's like he's unique and everything, but for the younger generation, I'm putting you on the spot a bit, and maybe the golden in the chat. Who would you liken him to? Not Forest players, but in general.
Because my like impression of him, if you look at the goal that he created in the first European Cup final, that was typical Robbo. Drew him in, left the defender, and that little bit of pace to get to the byline and cross it. Have we got anybody nowadays that's similar? For a start, a lot of wingers don't even take players on anymore. Whereas Robert used to take on every single time, But
generally, that was my point because obviously I'm nearly 50 now, so I've kind of like seen back for videos and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying. I was trying to compare him to anyone, and
Messi. Look, he didn't play in the centre of midfield, but Messi had that kind of control and the ability to just leave players.
Do you know who I was going to say?
Grealish is not bad. He's not
Kinkladze?
as good at
Remember Kinkladze?
Kinkladze had pace, man. He had pace as well. Quick. But no, the player I was going to compare him to is not even a winger, but Romario at Brazil in that 1990 World Cup. He used to have that little movement, where he's not got pace, but he used to be able to just skin players, like square them up and just skin them. And that's what Robbo used to do. So there's not many players with his dribble style that I can think of, to be honest. And like I say, looking
back, he must have had some pace over the first 2 yards, because when he used to beat a player, he used to have that little spurt.
That's the acceleration side, isn't it?
Yeah, so he must have had over like 2 yards. It just never looked fast.
But there's players like that, isn't there? But there's players, if you look at like a Zidane, like my era, the best player I ever saw was Zidane, right? He never looked fast, but he always looked like he had time on the ball.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who was coming up against it.
On another point, and I put it in the chat actually, because we've talked about this jokingly a few times. We spoke about this jokingly a few times about statues and stuff like that. Why isn't there a statue for Robertson, man?
Well, they're changing the bridge for Den, isn't it? So,
yeah, but he needs a statue as well. Mate. He should have
certainly. One. Well, yeah. I mean,
did you hear what Parky said?
We've not even got a proper Cloughie statue outside.
Yeah, it's in town,
which is ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Man City, they've got their statues. Man U have got their statues. Man U have got the Holy Trinity, Best Law and Charlton. They've got statues of them.
Yeah. Trevor Francis should have one, and John Robertson should have one, in my opinion, and probably John McGovern from that era, because they were all so instrumental in creating the history that we're living off now.
Look at the like Eddie Burns and Larry Lloyd at the back. You know, their contribution to that team should never be underestimated.
Yeah.
You know, as a centre back pairing, they were immense. You know what I mean? They were both hard men. Both of them.
Shilton,
hard men.
Anderson. Yeah.
Anderson, the first black player for England, you know.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Clarkey said?
Chilton's a big part of it. It was a team. I'd have the whole team immortalised.
Yeah.
Did you hear Frank Clark on TV when they asked him about the stand being renamed?
No.
What
is it?
Robbo stand?
Yeah. He said, he said, it's fantastic. But he had a little pop. It's like a shame they couldn't do it when he would have been around to accept it and appreciate it.
But they don't do that, do they? They don't name stands or build statues until people have gone, generally speaking.
I don't know,
you're right.
They've got one of Arteta outside of Arsenal, haven't they?
They've got a Wenger statue. Yeah.
Wenger, I meant, sorry. So, look, it's sad news, but I actually thought
they've got a Thierry Henry statue as well, I think.
Bergkamp, Tony Adams.
So that's what I'm saying. Why don't we? Maybe with the new.
I don't think the space is there.
Maybe with the new stand and the new plaza.
Well, when we move into our new stadium, like your new house, isn't it?
Hey, I'm getting internet tomorrow. Supposedly, they're coming down to anyway.
Ooh. So you'll have a new background next door.
Yeah, Hassan. I think you can't start to get it.
Maybe I'm a removal van coming on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be actually in there in less than a week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
All right, let's just focus up back on what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we're doing one before. No, Everton's on Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday night, isn't it? Yeah.
Probably how these games
I
are
can't
coming.
believe it. I was so peed off when somebody told me that it was Everton on Tuesday.
Why?
It's hard work going down there, you know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get down.
Especially when you got people coming up and shaking your hand all the time, and you know it's
any shout outs today, Ant?
Yeah, any shout outs, Ant? Or you forgot their names again?
You know what? I mean, you know, don't you, Ed? You meet a lot of people.
I do know.
You do tend to forget sometimes.
Keith, you want a statue of Des Little? Come on, man. I like Des Little, but Des Little was not a good right back.
Shout out to the people who came and said hello yesterday. Even the guy who said it while I was trying to go to the loo.
Yeah, you were accosted in the toilet, weren't you? That's why Crypto. That's why I don't go to the toilet at football games.
Mark, you don't hear half of it. I have to hear everyone's name.
Oh, you should hear Rob's the worst. If you go to the Trent Nav with Rob after the game, if someone hasn't recognised him in the first 15 minutes,
with a Ferrari outside, that's what's going to really pee him off.
What?
Sorry, Crypto. Go on, mate. Sorry.
I was just saying, if you go to the Trent Nav with Rob after the game, if he doesn't get recognised in the first 5 minutes, he's kicking off. He's literally walking around. He's like, why is no one recognising me? Why is no one I'm Rob from FFTV.
That's probably why they recognise him and walk away. But
yeah, the Trent Nav clears.
Remember you.
Anyway, on Tuesday, what were we saying, Ben? Everton, as Ancelotti told us in the chat, a lot of players out, missing, suspended, injuries.
Who haven't we played yet? Because that's our 19th game.
Villa.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, I don't want to play Villa. Can we just skip
they're coming up in a week's time.
Wait, have
we got Everton, Arsenal, Villa? Is that the running?
No, I don't.
Oh no, Everton, Villa, Arsenal.
No, we got Rob's West Ham in between. I'm sure.
Chat, what is that?
I'm being honest. I'm normally optimistic about these things, but
it's Everton, West Ham, then Wrexham in the cup, and then Arsenal. Sorry.
Shit.
After that Fulham performance, I'm not confident against Everton. We seem to play better against the big teams, so I'm going to go 1-0 Everton.
We didn't even ask for your prediction, but thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, Wolfie did.
We're going to do the lineups before that.
What your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing, isn't it? If we can't get up for this game at home against Everton Tuesday night, then
I'm trying. I don't know about you, but I'm struggling to get up for it.
They're trying to get up for anything these days.
this is the thing, isn't it? If the fans are feeling like this, what our players going to feel like come Tuesday night? But we need revenge on that last.
Yeah, but they can do something about it, as we can't.
I know, but that reverse fixture was probably our worst performance I've seen. Certainly, even under. I don't think we had a worse performance under Ange, to be honest. So that we need some revenge
That's
on that.
grammatically incorrect, by the way.
Yeah, you spelled that wrong. Try again.
Spell it right, bro. We got to get our tactics right, mate. And the players have got to be up for it. I would make minimal changes, but I would probably bring Douglas Luiz back in instead of Dominguez. So shall we bring the lineups up, guys, and then have a look at that? Your question about the goalkeeper.
No, I haven't got it ready.
Okay, I would stick with John Victor until he needs to be dropped. I think he's earned his place now. He's got in because of Sells' injury. I don't think he's done anything to drop him, so I would keep him in. And then I'd make minimal changes, mate. I'd make minimal changes. But I don't know. But yeah, Douglas Luiz back in for me. Give him his 45 minutes. That's
or Dominguez, you're saying?
For Dominguez, yeah. That's the only straight swap I'd make. I'd possibly start with Bakwa as well, ahead of Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Does he need?
I don't have a problem with Hutchinson playing on the left-hand side because he can play the left-hand side and he can take on plays as well. So I've got no problem with him going left-hand and Bakwa coming in right-hand side. But yeah, he needs to start getting minutes, and I'd rather start him than bring him on and give him 2 minutes at the end of the game.
All right, let's do the team sheets and seeing that you're all going on about your team sheets.
Might as well. We dropped this up for over an hour already, mate. Come on.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Let me bring it up. But just on that question, does Hudson-Odoi need dropping?
It's not.
Yeah, I'd bring Bakwa in. Against Everton, that's the type of game he can do all right in.
All right.
But what I don't want to see... What I don't want to see in this game is us just launching it into the box, trying to expect Jesus to win this. I want us to play through Everton. So that's why I need a bit more of a 4-3-3 setup.
So, sorry, you're saying Dominguez off for Douglas Luiz?
Yeah.
So you're doing that?
Yeah.
You're leaving Hudson-Odoi?
No. I'm taking Hudson-Odoi. I'm putting Hutchinson on the left, and I'm bringing Bakwa in on the right.
Untested.
Yep, I'm gonna go with.
So you're going with that. Chat, rate that out of 10.
Me, yeah, that's me. You know what? No one's gonna agree with that, so I'm not gonna go back. Yeah, that's me. I've got some left field suggestion, but
I give that
ready. So Ben, you prepare yours.
I give that a 1 out of 10.
Shut up.
Why? What are you changing, Ben?
So I'd put Jesus in the 10 and put Kali Mwenda up front, and I would.
Cash is giving you a 2 out of 10, bro. He's
Yeah,
your boy as well, man.
He's my boy. I know. He's thrown me under the bus there, man. Thanks, Cash.
Jesus
So
in
you're
the
doing
10,
that.
Kali Mwenda up front. This is the winning team, and then Sells for Victor, and I'd put Bot on the bench and make Victor stay at home. That's my team. That's the sickest team we've got at the moment.
Wait, so just give me your 11, man.
That's my 11.
Callum Mwenda, is that his name?
Yeah.
I've not seen that before.
That's the
Chat,
best
what are you
team-
rating that one?
team we've
I'm
got.
not against that one.
I am.
10 out of
Wait,
10.
are you putting Hutchinson on the left and Bakwa on the right?
Yeah.
He's
That's
copying
our
me.
best team at the moment with injuries and
Yeah, that's
Afghan.
what I've got as well.
Well, that's your team.
No. I believe it or not.
You dropping Victor?
I'd have John Victor in goal. That's
I'm
that's
talking outfield. I'm talking outfield.
No, that's it. That's what I've got down.
That's
You're
it.
scared
That's
that
the
you
winning
and
team.
Ben are like very
That's the
alike.
winning team.
I know. With your MGW agendas, yeah. Okay, carry
You're
on.
going like that, and
That's not what the team will be, but that's what I'd like.
No,
to
that's
see.
what you're going with. Yeah. That's fine.
And don't forget, and I always have to say this.
No, you don't.
It's very much a
formations
90
never
minute.
play like this in game.
Yeah, formations
We
aren't really
don't play this
formation.
formation. We don't have to play
Yeah,
this formation.
Just on
but I
paper.
was also going to
Penalties
say- I
don't
was also-
count.
Anderson can move around the pitch.
Yeah, he can
It's not a
actually. He doesn't have to
must-win
stay-
game.
he doesn't have to
Anything
stay in
else
that
on-
exact spot on the pitch. But no, what I was going to say is it's a 90-minute game and you're allowed 5 substitutes. So that doesn't necessarily mean
Really?
that-
Fucking hell, I didn't know that.
Well, Sean
Wow.
Dyche doesn't know it.
Wow.
Sean Dyche is
Oh
apparently
my
on
god!
it.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
So what I'm saying is that's not necessarily the team that will end the game because
Right.
we don't actually know.
I haven't asked
how-
for the team that ends. I just want the
No.
starting team, man. Starting
He's got
11,
more-
man.
He's got
Starting
more
X.
stipulations than Rob.
Yeah, we're
His
not asking you
stipulations
to
coming
predict
after the game as
results
well. Bloody hell, bro.
No, you are getting cruel. There are certain criticisms that are beyond the pale, mate.
Okay. Can you guys remember? So go A, B, C, give us a vote. Mine was A, obviously, my first one, and then it was Ben. And it was the
I
C
am Ben
down
and
there.
Ant is basically the same, isn't it? It's just
No,
changing-
because he
No,
changed the
different
goalkeeper. He
goalkeeper.
changed the goalkeeper. That's a big difference, bro.
I'll have Big John in. I'm all up for Big John.
Wait, you want Matt Turner in there?
What about goalkeeper wise, Ben?
Yeah.
Mark's
Yeah, but
saying, I just
depending
feel
on-
that Jesus in the
depending
10
on
is
it,
too
yeah.
much of a risk. Don't know what he'll be like. That's a creative
Yeah,
position.
Mark, that you're absolutely right.
But we don't
So-
know.
Hang on,
You've
hang
answered
on, hang
your
on,
own
hang on, hang on. So, the reason I mentioned the fact that players can move, can you bring it back up again? The reason that I mentioned that players can move about a bit is because Igor Jesus can quite easily move into a forward position alongside Callum Owendo,
Exactly.
and Louise can move into a more creative position. This is whilst we're on the attack, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, Anne. That was my
And
thing.
Anderson,
as well.
Anderson can tidy up behind.
Yeah, like he
front
did,
of the
like he
back
did
four.
yesterday.
He
fall
can
into
do
the-
Very
that,
well
yeah.
done. Well done, Wolfie. You've done a cracking job there.
Oh, I do this in my under 15s. I'm not even joking. Like how to move positions within the formation. Who plays there? So yeah, that you can do that
not
into the
necessarily
attack.
playing a strict 10 is fluid. It can
You could
move about
actually
on
go
the
more
pitch.
like that.
You imagine Louise crosses the ball, Igor Jesus nods it down, Callum Owendo follows through, bashes
Yeah.
in the back of the net. There we go.
Exactly.
Follows through. I hope he doesn't.
All right, so let's do the
As soon as I
prediction.
said that, I knew somebody would say that.
We are childish enough. We are childish enough. Go on then, and what are you predicting? Chad, get your predictions in as well.
Yeah, if we play as well as we can, then I'll go for a 2-0 Forest win. And that's not like me, but hey.
But if we play how we normally play, what are you thinking?
Oh, we're shit. It'll be a 0-0 draw.
Ez?
I need the players to be up for it. If the players are up for it, mate, we can beat Everton every day of the week. But if they're not up for it, we're going to get battered. The 0-0 didn't work, did it? The 0-0 prediction didn't work. So I'm going to be positive. I do think we can nick it, but it will be a very low scoring game and a 1-0 win. I'm going to go with, yeah.
To who?
Yeah,
The
you're
one
right,
that
mate.
went-
Somebody just put in there, Everton aren't going to score. That's actually correct. Everton are dreadful going forward.
Yeah, unless we
Oh, he
give it to
jinxed it
them.
now. He
And they're,
jinxed it.
they're missing half of their team. They ain't going to
Is
score.
that right,
Who's
then?
there?
Yeah, sorry. Is that right, then? They are missing
Apart
those
from
players.
Grealish. Grealish is doubtful. The rest are out. Wait, hold on. What was the score when we played Everton at their place?
3-0.
3-0.
We lost 3-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut up.
We bent over for him, bro. Early goal. Remember, it was a really early goal we
Hey,
conceded.
we didn't
I
just
was at
bend
the
over.
foul
We
from
put
Savona.
Vaseline up there as well.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, wait. Milenkovic own goal. I can't remember the others.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
an goal from
right.
Milenkovic.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm right.
what's his
It's
name?
like, honestly, man, it's
Yeah.
been Men in Black. Boop.
What's his
We
name?
lost 3.
VX.
Wait,
Chelsea
that wasn't
player.
even that long ago, was it?
No.
No.
No,
I
about 3
can't
weeks ago.
remember it, man. I can't remember it.
Yeah, like, welcome to the club.
I can't remember it.
Well, welcome to our
I'm
world, isn't
legit.
it?
I can't remember the other goals, but I remember Milenkovic's one. That's it. That's it. Big up to Alex with the 19 months. You absolute legend, Alex. Thank you so much for that. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Tomorrow morning, you'll have the preview out on the channel with my predicted team, which will be more sensible than these idiots. And my
I bet it's the same as
scoreline
mine. I
as
bet
well.
it's the same as mine.
I'm heading over to Husam's channel now. I'm interested to see how they see corruption from a Cartel 6 perspective. I guarantee you they'll all be backing Man City on there. So this is going to send you over to there. So make sure you tune in. And I'll see you tomorrow morning on the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are absolute legends. Check out OK Jerseys. Get your football shirts for 15 quid. Scan the QR code. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.
Reds.